There
Okay,
you go.
now let's start with just overview of the trading within Daisy. As you know, right now we're trading with 25 million that grew to 31 million. And during this process, we're seeing different elements of the order execution that we're tackling. I'll show you a little bit later. But currently the results are 21%, 73 points, about 22% for the full fund. And for individual smaller contributors, it can be a little bit less, as you see the several digits less for the smaller contributors. But this is our results, and probably each of you that participated in the first pool, you can see what's happening. So what's interesting on the real results is that, and this is our back office for the trading, okay? This is our back office for the trading. What you can see here is you can choose any type of the system. You can check any type of the orders. You can do the transfers between accounts, and this is the most exciting part. As you see here, we have 25 different portfolios that we're running. In some of the portfolios, specifically in the altcoins, we have more than one altcoin. We have 10 different strategies running. So you have 25 plus 10 in altcoins each side. So I would like to share with you just a couple of the accounts that's running. We have, first of all, division of this accounts by types, like Bitcoin accounts, buy and sell sites, Ether accounts, buy and sell sites. We have Tron, which is a historical one. And we have non-trading bot, which is a specific place where we put funds for future trading or for reduction of the leverage. Right now it's practically zero, but at the beginning we had more. And the altcoins, okay? So let's start and see what's happening with, for example, Ether buy strategy, which is a mid-term. You can see the name of the strategy of the portfolio here. You can see current value of USDT. You can see current position, okay? And you can see current balance. So if we go into this system, you will see the green line, which is the strategy balance. And you can see here, it started with 2 million, currently is 3 million and 172,000, right? And you can see each signal that is running on the system, okay? So you can see the signal that run at the price 1847, okay? So what we decided to do, starting from next signal, we changed the type of the orders to future smart. And this was a decision based on last week. We had some verifications done by Daisy Group and tested that this type of order will give us significant improvement in each of the execution, and that's the story. So we can see what's happening on the Bitcoin. Same here, we started with the balance. This was a transfer of the balances before the start of the trading. And here we started with a balance of 2,276,000. And right now with the balance of 5,300,000 and so on. So you see how things work. The withdrawals we will put through the non-trading account. Again, once we get closer to the release of the smart contract, we will fill in the remaining funds for the team that once we need to do automated withdrawals. And again, you know, compound side, read the white paper, try to understand why we do not recommend doing the withdrawals, because right now, as you can see in the results, I will put it back, we can see 20%, right? And we hope that next time we get the same market, we will be able to show 40%. The next time we will be able to show 60% and so on. So the compound effect is very important for us. So let's now move to the Daisy story, and that was a kind of very serious effort for us to write this white paper. Okay, so I will start. This is how it will look like. You will be able to read it, not to download it, through the link that we will provide on the Daisy channel, the Telegram channel. Also, we will put it into Endotech and I think daisycrowd.com. And this paper is basically describing our vision for the Daisy project for the next year and a half. It's very important to mention that there is very few preliminary results on the core project that we're trying to achieve. It's more of the vision. That's why it doesn't contain the preliminary testing or preliminary results. It contains purely the vision of what we would like to achieve. So what this project about is about unlocking high risk, high return alpha. And once you start reading it, this is the part that's important for me to explain to you. The structure of the white paper is following. We start with, standard explanation about who are the client for the Daisy project, who are the participant of the Daisy project, how the Daisy project is structured within Endotech and the rest of the group. You will read the executive summaries, basically the vision, the mission statement. And then we will dive into the details of how trading done. Systematic trading has two basic approaches: technical analysis and fundamental analysis. Currently in Endotech, we have very strong technical analysis, which is supported by AI technologies. And this technical analysis is what you see in current results. And we're explaining in the paper why it's not enough, why we decided to do Daisy project, what's missing in technical analysis for us, why we need the side of the fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis is very new field for AI because it's more complicated. We saw, and I participated in several funds that did fundamental analysis using AI, but it was more of statistical analysis than the pure machine learning story. So Daisy methodologies that you can see here, I cannot, just 1 second. Yes. Now it comes the story of the Daisy, our vision of how we will do the Daisy. And you might find it a little bit complicated. Therefore, I will try to explain you right now the basic terms. And for this, I will go to the pages. Give me the second because it will take me, I need to go to 19, right? Okay. So here is a story that I want to share with you, how we see the project, okay? So what is a fundamental analysis for us? What we're trying to achieve? We are excellent when we know that markets are volatile. When we say volatile, it doesn't mean that it will go up. It just means that it will go somewhere. Once we know it will go somewhere, we can be very smart about patterns of how to trade. And that was our technical analysis with Endotech does. So I hope you can see my mouse that's showing you that the part of the algorithmic trading is done. Now we're moving to the missing part of volatility that we need to extract from Daisy. So in order to extract it from Daisy, our approach is very different from other groups. What we're saying is we want complete picture. We want to try to get to the bigger picture as possible about different elements of the monetary system, economic system, political system, and so on. What I will start saying right now, it will sound like a megamaniac, effort, but then I will bring it to reality of how we cut it down to something which is feasible. So we start with attempt to get all the information about global money map. So meaning that that money has different types. You have money which is static. Again, you have all the tables that showing it to you within the paper of different money types, of different industries where this money resides, different assets where they are, and so on. So you have a quite deep drill down into the money type. So once we have this map, it will be basically static map of where money resides. Then we want to see, and also it's very important, who owns this money, not only where they are or what type the money is, but who owns this money. Once we map the system, the next effort is to have the network of money flow, where this money, how it changes, because we're not interested only in static point. Static point does not give us explanation. What gives us explanation is where the money is moving. So, for example, if you cut the forest, right, there is a money that's in the forest. Now, what do you do with it? Do you move it to some industry? Do you just create the tourist resort and so on? So the money flow is our second layer of the structure. Now, to make it happen, it's a quite complicated task because you need to collect this information from different sources. And here's what we do in level 2 is we're collecting this information from third-party sources. You have a lot of this information everywhere. We wrote several pages of resources that we use in appendix and references. And by collecting this information, first of all, it will come in different forms. It comes in text form, it comes in numbers, it comes in sentiments, it comes in really different types. So we need specific AI systems to bring it to numbers, let's say it this way, to bring it to the object and to the concept that we later can use. So again, we start with the static data, right? We're going to the information of how we will move this information to the dynamic information. Then we're working on the systems, AI system that can now take all the flows, different types of flows of the money and help them to be modeled. Now, the main story of the DAISY is how we model our world into something that we can use later, right? We have lots of economic and financial computational finance in the world, but usually they're taking one part and trying to model it, and they have issues with it. And you can read lots of papers and lots of explanation why they have issue, because they don't have the full model. They cannot see all the influences, so they have to take and make hypotheses that sometimes, and we saw it over the last 50 years, that we have efficient market hypothesis. It was first the leading hypothesis, then it was broken, then it will become again. So we don't want to make hypotheses, we want to make modeling that will give us the explanation of the money movements. And then once we have this different systems of the money movements, we need to start bringing it to the reality. Now, our reality is to read the volatility, to understand why certain market, and now let's bring it to our current Bitcoin. So we see that Bitcoin, it's in the levels of 52. Now, each of us has our own opinion, whether it's enough for the next month or for the next day, or it will go further. So the deep reasoning is supposed to help us understand what are the reality of the story, whether the general multi-country opinion about Bitcoin is still very volatile and people think it can be pushed further, or it should be it's already declining. So we will see this from the first level of deep reasoning, because this deep reasoning will tell us, for example, that there are no additional stories that come from the political environment. There is no additional stories that will come from other markets. Other markets become stronger, and so on. So there will be lots of different explanations that will come into the deep reasoning for the volatility model. Okay, so you will see in the chapter describing how we bring it to reality, that we use clustering analysis, we use Pareto rules and so on to cut down this immense information, but still we will have immense information that will be part of this modeling. So this is the Daisy story. I hope that by reading in more details, you will have more of the understanding of how we will do things. Our team's already working, and you can see that the first element is already thought through of how we collect the data, how we put it into multidimensional matrices. The second layer, it's also thought through, and we have teams already that started to work, AI teams primarily. And then right now our task is start implementing the third and the fourth level in more details. Of course, we have teams that's working on the questions of each of the questions that's specified in white paper. It's overfitting, is dimension reduction. We're talking about how to make it work from the speed point of view, because when you have so much information, it's very hard to get the results. And again, I'm sure that any of AI aficionado will tell, listen, it's really ambitious task, and we know, and we're willing to walk this road for a year and a half, and we have milestones for ourselves every 6 months, what element we want to make work in order to enable us to go further. So the first element that we're developing is support for the global markets like Bitcoin, Ether, like all the crypto market. The second task that we're trying to get, and here I want to go to the roadmap. Yes, I will go first to the roadmap. Here is the roadmap. The roadmap for us, right? We entered the project by crowdfunding, and it's enabled us to start it. So from January, we started already the development of the Daisy. The white paper came out here in February, and we are moving towards completion of the elements of the core development already in April. In July, we are planning to take Daisy elements to help us with Forex trading. Now, this testing will start on live accounts in July. So what we want to do is in Forex, our systems are heavily relying on the fact of the volatility. So we need to bring more inputs from the Daisy to the Forex. Then we're planning to go in October to commodities. In 2022, the beginning of the year, we will go to Alpha Daisy. So it will be complete product that's working on multiple markets and helping us, and then continuously we'll take it to the full production. So this is our roadmap. To go backwards to show what's already done, so you will feel comfortable that, again, we are not dreamers. We are a company that have a lot of technology, a lot of AI already in usage, and we're just moving forward to the next level. So when we're talking about the full infrastructure that's already prepared, is Daisy is an element, very important element that's supporting us in asset selection story. Asset selection is the first primer story for the volatility, but it's also, of course, helping us to have additional elements to help us choose whenever technical analysis, it's not enough within a trading. But if you can see this diagram, I will increase it a little bit. We're talking about first reality of the fact that we have investors that will be using Daisy, right? Then once investor joins the Daisy, we have elements of portfolio allocation, money management, signals and strategies, asset selection. This is all already developed within Endotech. So it will help us to go to the additional markets. Right now, we as Endotech, we're not able to go to additional markets before we have Daisy in our hands. And this is very important, it's crucial, because right now we have huge run of the crypto, but we experienced it already in January, that the volatility was so high that we could not participate. During this period, we want to be somewhere else. We want to see where the volatility is reasonable, and we will be able to go into this assets and be there. Then we have portfolio trading. As I showed to you, execution of the orders is critical. So we have lots of work already done. And part of the Daisy story is also to help us, the part of the Daisy team to help us improve it in different markets. We have connectivity right now developed for several markets, primarily in crypto, but also in Forex. And this is a project that we will develop during Daisy time as well. So again, this is functional project, as you can see right now, and it should get much, much better with Daisy, because we will be able to diversify. We will be able to say not to stand still and just being beaten by the market that is not a volatile, choppy market. You saw that it's happened to Ether in Daisy. You saw that while Bitcoin was going up, Ether was took some small hit, not the major hit, but took a hit that it was not able to see that it's a temporary drawdown. So again, Daisy is supposed to help us be more detailed about our entries and exits based on the general volatility.